everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Hannah. I have a lot of questions asking about how to get like poreless summer skin. How does my skin end up so smooth? Bearing in mind, if I show you my skin up close and personal, I've got texture, I've got spots, I've got blackheads. My skin may look good, it's not perfect, it has its issues, but we will work on it. But I have found ways to make sure that I can minimize pores, I can make sure my skin is as smooth as possible, and to give like a beautiful glass summer bronze skin. So if you want to see how I create a bronze skin look, then please keep watching. You want your look to be very skin focused. You want to make sure that prepping is on point. If you have a skincare routine, if you want me to show you my morning and evening skincare routine, please comment in the comment section. You want poreless skin, I would try and avoid foundation. If you're just going to use very little foundation, you're going to want to find a foundation, whether it's drugstore or luxury or high-end. I would personally choose high-end just because you can trust them a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, drugstore's nothing wrong with drugstore. I'm a drugstore gal, but sometimes you can more like trust high-end, that you know the performance is going to be. Sometimes the drugstore foundations, they can have a look, but sometimes on a different day they can change. So I would always advise one foundation right here, just because of sometimes you want to go from the amount of product that you use. Sometimes if you overuse the product, then you can get really cakey. Sometimes you underuse it, it can start to look really streaky and it doesn't apply much coverage to you. You want a foundation that when you use the pump, only a little bit comes out. That's the best advice I can give you, and I have learned that. Now the best foundation I can give you that gives you full coverage but doesn't like attach to dry skin, doesn't like give you texture, blurs out your pores, it's an expensive one, but it's 100% worth it. And the amount of product that it gives you is literally smaller than a pea. This is the Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. You can sheer the coverage, so you can make it really sheer, you can make it really full coverage depending on the pump. One pump for me gives me full coverage, but if you just use a tiny bit, you can like have a array of coverages. First one I'm going to go in with, and I'm just going to say right out here, if you have pores and you have enlarged pores, you're going to want a blurring and pore minimizing primer. Now the first product we're going to go in with is a primer, like I've just said, and this is the Pro Base Banana Blur Primer with mattifying finishing with vitamin E, and this is from MUA Cosmetics. You can get this in Superdrug, you can get this on MUAcosmetics.com. Tiniest amount. This primer is absolutely amazing. It's not thick, it feels like a moisturizer, but it really does mattify your pores. So what I just like to do is I like to warm it up with my hands just so it's easily absorbed into the skin, and I just make sure I massage this right into my pores. This is where I get mostly my pores and oil. Concealers I'm absolutely loving right now, which I didn't know I was loving, and I tried this out one day, and this is how I created this look. The two concealers, you can use one or the other or both together, or you can find what you love. But the two concealers, one's affordable, one's not affordable, is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer and the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Long Wear Concealer. This one's a little bit more fuller coverage and will apply the base. Laura Mercier one will provide the longevity and add a little bit of coverage as well, just a little bit more luminous and a bit more luxurious to the skin. I don't apply concealer all the way underneath my eye, I just go a little bit, just like that, as if it's like a V sort of thing, and I'll show you why I do that in a moment. Just a little bit, not too much. So you want to go downwards and across. You can go underneath the eye if you want to. I literally just do it like this. It looks silly, but we'll work on it. And a little bit on my chin, and then the tiniest amount on the forehead. Then round the edges, around here where I'd normally apply highlighter, I'll go in with the Laura Mercier concealer, and I'll just add a little bit around here. And I will let this sit underneath my eyes. I'll do a little bit just here, just in case. Now I'm going to let this sit underneath my eyes, but I'm going to start to blend out on my chin. I'm just going to go in, and I'm going to leave my under eyes first, just because when concealer starts to warm up underneath your eyes, it looks better than rather you just applying it and then blending it in. That's just my personal preference. I really find that making it sit under that. If it's a drying concealer, you want to avoid it. If it dries down really quickly, you want to avoid it. So yeah, and I add a tiny bit to my tash area, because we've all got that little tash there. We're going to let that sit. We have let that sit while we blended the rest of it in. And that just makes sure, for me personally, that it's warmed into the skin, and when it blends in, it blends within the skin. Not within, I don't mean like it's inside the skin, but it blends as if it is skin, instead of it just sitting on the skin. So I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up, because if you go from the top, I personally think it doesn't work for me, and you don't want to add too much to underneath the lid, because it really will crease. And as I blend out the edges, I bring it down. I don't know if you guys can tell, I just bring it down so it starts to cover. And then I start to go underneath the eye, and any residue that I pick up, I just go around my cheek area just to make sure everything is covered. I go over nooks and crannies of my nose. Then I work with my under eye. Because my under eye is where I get the most creasing, I work with it last, just so that the product is really settled and worn under there. Your nose is one of the places that doesn't really get like discoloration. If it does, then we can work with that and you can just add concealer. But if it doesn't, leave it, because it adds this pore effect to it that you haven't got concealer on, and people be like, how does your nose look so blurred? It hasn't got concealer on, but it's got primer on. I know these tricks sound silly, but I've been using this for quite a while, and my skin isn't perfect. Like, a lot of people say, oh Hannah, how does your skin get to this X, Y and Z? And it's like, well, I've had to work with it, but this is what I'm showing you guys is what has worked for me. You guys that don't have that budget, which is completely fine, the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop setting powder, I've got the shade light medium, is great. This is the quickest step. I'm not going to set the rest of my face, I'm just going to set directly underneath my eyes. And I don't bake, I just don't do it. I don't know why I don't do it, but everyone says to me baking, and it scares me like crazy. So for contouring, we're going to use the Fenty Beauty matchstick. I'm going to use the shade of Mocha. Now normally I would just go straight in and do that. However, if you tend to have like a little bit of set underneath under eyes, and you've got concealer and foundation, all of that on, the chances are that as soon as you apply that to your skin, if it's not warmed up, it's going to move the foundation. So I like to use this brush here. This is a Sample Beauty PB16 brush. This is like the best contouring brush. It really chisels, it's really small. It's like a, I don't know, it reminds me of a Morphe brush. I can't remember what Morphe brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to brush a little bit onto, I'm just going to basically add a little bit onto the brush. I'm just going to start to warm my chin up, my other chin, just adding a little bit, not too much, because then we can go in and blend. And then you can start to blend it in. We can go in with a liquid bronzer, not liquid bronzer, a matte bronzer afterwards if you want. We can do that. I'm just going to go in with a brush first just to make sure I've got it in all the areas, and then I'll go in with a sponge just to make sure nothing's streaky. This just directly on your skin, for me, just adds this beautiful natural bronze look to it, rather than it being on like a set canvas. So I don't know if you guys know what I mean. I just add a little bit between my brow bone. Oh, a little bit too much there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back in with my sponge and just make sure it's all pressed in. I'm so sorry if you can hear the noise in the background. I've got family home. I have done the bronzer. We have bronze. We're going to go into a little bit of blush, just because blush really is beautiful. I absolutely love blush. We are going to go in with blush, and I'm going to try something new. I've used this once, but I really did like it. I've swatched it. It's gorgeous. Now this is the Nudestix Nudie Blooms Sweet Peach Peony. This is absolutely gorgeous. If I show you the colour, it's like this really peachy shade right here. We're going to take a little bit on a brush. These are really nice. I did go to a little launch event because they are launching in Selfridges. It's going to take a little bit on the brush, and I'm just going to start to dust this onto my cheeks. This was really nice. It's really soft and gentle, but adds this like beautiful glow. So yeah, I love that with any, if you want glass skin, if you want a summer glow, this on top of bronzer would just be phenomenal. So we're just going to take this. It's like it's a different type of like stick consistency. I've never really been a stick fan, just because sometimes sticks can be really drying. I can like contour sticks, but sometimes sticks can be a bit drying. But for this one, for some reason, it's really lovely, and it doesn't separate your foundation at all. You can go in with your finger if you want and just blend in the rest of it, but it's so nice. And because we haven't got foundation on, it really complements the skin. Like, I personally think anyway. I like to add blush to certain places on my skin. But yeah, we've added blush. That is all good. Going with the Rhodial highlighter. This is a more expensive highlighter, but this really goes really natural and lovely on the skin. This is in the shade 07 highlighting powder. Just where we've added that blush, just a tiny bit to add a little pop. Gonna add a little bit like this into the high points of my face. Just like that. I'm not going to do the brow bone or anything because I am going to do an eyeshadow look, but just like that. And then also from Nudestix, just because I don't really like the whole lip effect, I am just going to go like the whole lipstick. When I do skincare like this, like literally my skin looks so full coverage, but I've got no foundation on, just got concealer, bronzer, powder, blush and highlighter. Can you imagine that? Like, imagine when I do this normally, it's so quick, like it's literally so quick. So I'm going to go with the Nudestix lip glaze. I think these are new. These look incredible, and this is in the shade 04. Now I've heard that these are actually supposed to complement your normal lip color, because your lip color is just a reference for what your inside of your lips look, the lining of your inside of your mouth, and your nude shade is going to be what you want it to be from your lip colour sort of thing, but this should be, I think these are plumping. Yeah, it has like a vanilla mint, like it smells like after 8. If you know what an after 8 is, it just smells like after 8. So I'm just going to apply this. See, I like these. The only thing I'd like is I like the handle to be a little bit like more sturdier, just because like my grip's terrible. But yeah, 04 is definitely for me. What I am going to do is I'm going to do my eyes, come back to you guys, and we will finish the look up. Okay, so I've done my eyes. You guys are seeing how this look is coming together. Now, the last step that I'm going to show you guys is setting. I don't like to use a mattifying spray. I don't like to use a longevity spray because makeup on me tends to last quite a long time. Because it's mostly skin, this look. Like, we've just got a little bit of concealer, bronzer, powder, a little bit of powder. You don't really want to set too much just because your skin is there. Like, you don't really want to set your skin. You want to set foundation and concealer, but because we've not plastered it on, but it still looks super duper full coverage. Like, I literally look like I've got like a ton of like foundation on. I don't know what do you guys think? Do I look like I'm covered? I then go in with one of my favorite sprays, which I could recommend to you guys. It's the Luminaire Finland hydrating mist. Contains vitamin C, wild Arctic cloudberry, Arctic spring water. This is like my favorite. You can get this on Feel Unique, I think, but I'm just going to spray a few spritz of this. And whether you've got dry skin, oily skin, it really brings a nice refreshing moment to your skin. I love this when I'm just wearing foundation. Sorry, I love this when I'm just wearing concealer, like how I am now. When I'm wearing foundation, obviously you're going to want to use a setting spray like the Urban Decay one. However, these hydrating mists are like so bomb. And like, I don't know if you guys can see, but my skin is literally, I'm looking in the mirror, but my skin is literally coming through. Like foundation adds like a layer, that's the whole point of it, but when you just have your skin, like powders just sit on skin so much nicer than they do on foundation. That's just my personal opinion anyway. I think this whole trend, there needs to be a trend now, it's just like skin coverage. Like, I've literally got a concealer and a bit of bronzer on, and you can just see the coverage that I have got from this. I feel like I'm looking, I could go to an event, I could do, I don't know, like I just feel that I am full coverage, but we haven't got foundation on, so full coverage without foundation. So I hope you enjoyed this look. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you're going to try it. Let me know any tips and tricks that you have so you can share with everyone down in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are on this video, and if you'd like to see more like this, like outside of reviews and unboxings, please let me know what your thoughts are. And if you have any other video suggestions, I love you all. Please follow me on my Instagram, which is at hanstluce. And if you're new and you've come to this point, thank you so much. I would love if you could hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss out when I post. And I love all of you guys, and I hope you guys take care. Bye.